Hello and welcome once again to the video. A little bit late this video, well, a couple of days late, because I've been feeling a bit under the weather and not able to get down to doing the video. I'm still a little bit under the weather, I have to say, so this one will be a relatively short video, shorter than normal, shall we say. There is also, you might hear it, some background noise because there's some scaffolding being put up on the house opposite our house. So apologies for any dropped metal bars or shouts of, to each other out there. But can't be helped. So, Abu Dhabi, 2024. Now, because I've been feeling a bit under the weather, I've not been able to fully enjoy the result. But yes, Lando Norris, I can't really say that, I can't really say I told you so, even though I have been saying that I thought Norris was going to win the championship all the way through. I had a little wobble in Zandvoort. After his retirement in Zandvoort, I said, okay, I don't think this is, I just don't think this is going to happen. I think there's 34 points. It's just not going his way this year. So, but then after Monza, I thought, no, actually, he had the speed on Oscar in Monza. So, yeah, if he can get back on the speed, he can do it. So I just had that one blip just for one race because of that retirement. The rest of the year, I thought Norris was going to win the championship. However, I can't say I told you so because he only won it by a fast charging Max. He only beat him by 2 points. So I can't say, there you go, Norris won 2 points. It could have easily been 2 points the other way. If it wasn't for Antonelli's spin, they would have been level on points. His spin in Qatar. Antonelli's spin in, when he went wide on it, he didn't spin, but he went wide on that corner. Had that not happened, they would be level on points now. And so Verstappen would have got it on countback of wins. Because Verstappen won 8 wins to Norris and Piastri's 2 7 wins. 2 lots of 7. Anyway, I'm supposed to be talking about the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, aren't I? Not the World Championship. This is not the first time that the guy winning the most races has not won the championship. Immediately springing to mind is 2016. Rosberg won the championship with, I think, 9 wins. I think Hamilton had 10. And 1987, Piquet had 3 wins as world champion. His teammate, Nigel Mansell, had twice as many, 6, but was runner-up. Anyway, what I'm going to do, in case you haven't seen the video before, is I list down the finishing order from the Grand Prix. Top 10 in the championship, top 10 in the Constructors' Championship. So, let's go. So where are we? We're up here first. Verstappen. That has to be in focus. I like to think it is. Piastri. Norris. Leclerc. Russell. Alonso. Ocon and Hamilton. Ocon. Alonso, Ocon, Hamilton. And then we have Hulkenberg and Stroll. Followed by Bortoleto and Bearman. Sainz, Tsunoda and Antonelli. Sainz. Antonelli, and then we have Albon, Hadjar and Lawson. Gasly and Colapinto. That sums up Alpine's year, doesn't it? Gasly and Colapinto at the bottom. Okay. So, Drivers' Championship, Norris. 423 points. Second is Verstappen, 421. Piastri, 410. Russell, 319. Then Leclerc, 242. 242. Hamilton, 156. Hamilton. Antonelli, 150. Hamilton just held off Antonelli in the end. Albon, sort of best of the rest, if you like. Ninth is Sainz, 64. And then Alonso. Two good finishes by Alonso at the end, 56. From the top big four teams, Tsunoda is the only driver not in the top 10. All the others occupy the top 7 places. So you could say Albon is best of the rest, really. Okay, so McLaren, 833. Mercedes, 469. Just ahead of Red Bull, 451. Ferrari, 398. Williams, 137. Racing Bull, I don't pronounce the S, I refuse to. Racing Bull, 92. Aston Martin, 89. Eighth is Haas, 79. Ninth is Sauber, 70. Alpine on 22. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about, well, we'll talk about the top drivers, but it was all about the championship, really. This race, not about anyone else, really. It should be noted, though, that Hamilton, was it the third race running that Hamilton didn't get through Q1? Dearie me, will he be there next year? I think he will, but I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls the plug. It's probably, I would say it's his worst year in Formula One. I think that's probably what he would say. The vibes that we get from Lewis. It might not be his worst year in Formula One. It might have just been trying to connect with the car. He wasn't able to connect with the car. So it wasn't necessarily his worst race, really. But I think he could well think it was his worst race. So McLaren won, how many races? 14. Mercedes 2, and Red Bull won 8. Norris won 7, Verstappen won 8. Piastri won 7, Russell won 2. Fastest lap was Leclerc, I believe. Verstappen, it was his 51st race win as world champion. 71st win, 51st as world champion. Michael Schumacher holds the record for the most number of wins as world champion. And that's 52. So there you go. Man, that was a scary race. I did predict that it would be a win for Verstappen, second for Piastri, third for Norris. But that, again, that's not me being particularly clever. I think that's fairly obvious. Norris was just going to try and hang on, whereas Piastri was going to throw everything at it because he had nothing to lose, really. 16 points further back, he had to throw everything at it, whereas Norris just had to look after third. And when you only need to go for third, like Mansell in 86, for instance, and he had third and then his tyre exploded. When you only have to finish third, finishing third ends up being just as difficult as winning, because that's the position you have to finish in, and you forget about first and second, unfortunately, and you I know Norris would have said beforehand, nope, at what points, how many points am I behind? I don't know, what are you talking about? But in reality, he would have known exactly where he had to finish, and so then you're aiming for third, and that becomes like your version of aiming to win, which makes it difficult. So I wasn't surprised that he came third. Fantastic manoeuvre by Oscar, I have to say, on Lando, on the hard tyres. But you see, that's Oscar throwing caution to the wind. I don't think Lando made it easy for him necessarily. It was just a great move by Oscar on hard tyres, but that all comes down to the psychology. Oscar 16 points behind, he might as well just go for it. There's no point hanging back. He has to go for a win and hope that Verstappen finishes comfortably behind. I forget what position, and he had to hope that Norris was fifth or lower as well, I think. So he just had to go for it. And if he makes a mistake and goes off the track, so be it, whereas Norris didn't have to just go for it. He just had to finish third. But still, a fantastic move by Oscar, really quite something. And I have to say, fantastic by Lando that he didn't just immediately give the position. They were alongside each other for a while. He didn't just immediately hand it over to Oscar, thinking, I don't want to risk anything. He did fight it, which was a bit scary. I thought in this race, and I said in a few comments, that George Russell would be the big threat to Norris. I thought that Russell would hound Norris for that third place. Instead, it was Charles Leclerc that hounded Norris for that third place all the way through the race. There were periods when Lando was able to pull out a bit, but then there were periods when Charles would come straight back in again. And apparently, I don't know if it was officially announced, but the pundit crew on Sky seemed to be pretty sure that Norris was conserving tyres early on. That's a scary thing to do. You're conserving tyres, you're going slower into some of the corners, and you've got Leclerc right behind you, right on your heels while you're doing that. God, dear, that's a lot. But I didn't hear that was. I didn't hear that officially announced anywhere that that's what he was doing. Maybe he was just slow, but that seemed to be what the punditry crew seemed to think was happening. But yeah, that was scary stuff between those two. Leclerc all over Lando. And then they both stopped on lap 17. They both stopped on lap 17, didn't they? And then they came out, and then they were chopping through. They were overtaking other cars that hadn't stopped yet, so it wasn't back markers. And I remember Norris pulled a good move on Antonelli, a few other ones, and then of course we had Verstappen the whole time out in front. Piastri trying to stay in touch, and he was in the first stint. He was only a few seconds behind, I think, behind Max. But then we had that key moment, Norris coming up to Tsunoda with Leclerc behind. Oh my goodness. Terrifying for Lando and for McLaren and for any Lando fans, because Tsunoda was obviously going to try. And now people say that Sergio Perez helped Max win the championship in 2021. I always say, no, he didn't. Yes, he held up Lewis a bit, but what won the championship for Max was Latifi crashing and the safety car coming out, and then Michael Massey breaking all the rules. That's what won it for Max, not Perez holding up and costing Lewis a few seconds, because Lewis was comfortably way ahead of Max when the safety car came out. And it wouldn't have mattered how many seconds there were between them, because actually it was a red flag, wasn't it? Sorry, when the red flag came out. So it's not the same thing what Tsunoda did. Tsunoda had an absolute clear opportunity, and he did try, clear opportunity to help Max, whereas with Sergio, yeah, he held up Lewis a bit, but so what? It didn't have any effect on the championship, despite what people say. He certainly didn't help Max win it in that race. But here, it looked like Tsunoda was going to do that. Dearie me, Norris, what the worst person to be coming up behind at that point. Dearie me. And then, of course, Tsunoda gets told over the radio, Lando's behind you, he's coming up. You know, Leclerc is behind him. We need Leclerc to get past Lando. And Tsunoda is like, yeah, I know what to do, don't worry. That was a scary moment. And but fortunately, Norris bulldozed his way past Tsunoda, weaved about all over the place as if he was warming up his tyres on the warm-up lap or something, you know, the formation lap. It's like he's warming his tyres, weaving from left to right, left to right, left to right. And of course, Red Bull on the radio told Max, oh, Tsunoda moved once, and Norris has gone way off the track to get past him. No, Tsunoda was all over the place. Left, right, left, right, left, right. And with a left at the end, actually. Norris squeezed off the track. God dear. But fortunately, the stewards saw it correctly, penalised Tsunoda, did not penalise Norris for going off the track. But that was brave stuff by Lando there, with Charles right behind him. That was the championship won in the race. As soon as he got past Tsunoda, I thought, that's it. If there's no mechanical failure, then he's champion. I will do a video probably on the actual championship itself. God, such a long championship, wasn't it? Was it a long championship? Oh dear, you think back to Australia, or the testing. I think we had 24 races last year, but this championship feels so long. You know, you think back to China, the sprint race, where Hamilton was standing on top of the podium saying, there you go, I've proved all my critics wrong after Australia. They said I was a deadbeat. They just had to wait a bit till the second race of the season, or the first sprint race in the second race of the season. And then they'll see that I'm still here and I'm still fighting strong, you know. Together we rise, and all that nonsense. And we rise, yet we rise again. I forget what his catchphrase is. And of course, oh dear, it just went from bad to worse. No podiums, dearie me, Hamilton. He should probably retire. He should retire. But the problem is, it's not a good way to retire. Signing a multi-year deal with Ferrari, just doing 1 year and then retiring because you didn't win anything. It's just not, it's bad optics. So in order to look good for his legacy, I think he still needs to do next year. Plus the Ferrari might be fantastic next year, we just don't know. So I would be very surprised if he retired. But it's probably what he should do. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, there's not much more to say to the race. Once Tsunoda had been cleared by Norris, once Norris got past him, that was it. Third place was nailed on. He then closed in on Piastri. Piastri would have been out of sorts. Piastri would have known he's lost the championship. So he would have been thinking, oh, where's the checkered flag? So Oscar would not have been motivated really to go super fast. Lando should have slowed down. He was obviously on a bit of a high. He was closing in on Oscar. I think that was Oscar, maybe Lando's way of saying, look, you know, look at me, look, I'm quicker than Oscar here. So, you know, don't think that, yes, I'm winning the championship, but Oscar's blown me away in this race. I think that's what maybe Lando was thinking. Both Oscar and Lando have had, you know, good and bad times this season, of course. I'm not going to go through the season now, but I would say that Norris, obviously, I think he won the championship through Mexico and Brazil. Mexico and Brazil is what won the championship. And of course, had he not been disqualified, along with Oscar, in Las Vegas, he would have already wrapped up the championship in Qatar. So there you go. Verstappen, 8 wins. I just hope that Norris can properly enjoy the championship and get the credit he deserves, because a lot of the credit is going to go to Max. 8 wins, 2 points behind, winning the last 3 races. A lot of people are going to be saying, well, Lando had the better car and only beat him by 2 points. Over the whole season, yeah, definitely. I mean, there were times when the Red Bull was definitely faster than the McLaren, but I would say over the whole season, yeah, Norris had the better car. I think it's more of an achievement, Norris beating Piastri by 13 points when he was 34 points behind Piastri. That's a bigger achievement than beating Verstappen, because Piastri was at least in the same car. But anyway, I just hope that people give Norris credit for winning the championship, rather than talk about how Verstappen didn't quite win it. But anyway, so there you go. I'm going to end the video there. Don't want to make it any longer, really. But I will do a season one. I'm going to look at the season. I don't know how long that video will be. Maybe I'll do it over... No, it would just be my thoughts, actually. I'm not going to cover every race, so I don't need to split it in two or anything. It'll just be my thoughts. But I won't record that for a couple of weeks or so, in case I'm still under the weather, basically. So I'm not going to record one this week for release, say Saturday. But the week after that I probably will. Anyway, there you go. 2025, what a season, eh? Oh dear, so worn out. And the drivers must be tired as well, and the teams. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening. If you'd like to subscribe, please do so, or like the video, or comment on the video, or leave a tip on the thanks button below the video. And I will see you on the very next video, whatever it may be about. Thank you, and goodbye for now.